We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. What's up,
Easy.
everybody? It's Cactus Wrestling. Hey, check us out on Spotify, yo. Or app no, not Apple Podcasts. Soon to
Not
be
yet.
Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, soon to be
Podbean.
Podbean, yeah, Podbean too. Make sure, if you're listening on a podcast, hit that 5-star review, yo. All right, talking
My dream
about
dog.
the Olympic team trials. Mike and I were there,
Yeah,
and
we were.
well,
Not me.
just for Saturday.
Well, yeah, but still.
Uh, so lots to talk about, and we'll start right at the beginning, I guess, with 57 kilos. How about Spencer Lee, man? He looked good. I think we all predicted that he was going to win, and he did that pretty handedly.
I thought Suriano was going to do better.
No,
I'm not sold on Soriano. I feel like I kind of sold his stock a few years back. Um, I think he was doing really well, was climbing up the freestyle mountain pretty good, and then had the that got called for COVID. I think at the Olympic trials in 2020, and I was like, this might be a huge setback for him, and I just think he hasn't really been to the top of the peak again. But
He's got Handsome Tuesday going for him.
I love the Handsome Tuesday, man. Today's Handsome Tuesday. In fact,
a
he
very
is.
That is.
Tuesdays ever. Well,
But
by the
I'm
time
not showing off my handsome mug today because of a bloody nose. So,
uh,
Yeah.
um,
Um,
I think the high schoolers were very impressive. We were just talking about Jax Forrest, Marcus Blaze.
yeah.
I mean, just to
Mike,
win
what happened with
matches,
Luke Lildahl?
And my dog Luke Lilladall.
Yeah, what happened with him? You were saying that you thought he might beat Zane Richards, that he might give Spencer a good run.
Yeah. I mean, how did he do?
He lost to Zane Richards for one.
Well, happens to the best of us.
Then he lost to Marcus Blaze.
Who took third?
Yeah,
That's
still
that's a good loss. Like that's not like Marcus Blaze, a
he
terrible
lost to
wrestler.
Zane Richards 5-3, and then Lilladal beat Loam Cronin 2-2 on criteria, and then lost to Marcus Blaze 5-1.
Yeah. Still pretty good. I mean,
I don't know if I would qualify that as pretty good.
at least he
The
made
way
weight
you
so
were
he could get a
hyping him up,
semi-champion.
I would say that was an underperformance by a lot.
By the way, we saw Zane Richards at the Waffle House.
We did.
We
No,
didn't say
Waffle
hi to
Shop.
him.
Waffle
You
Shop.
know, you don't want to disturb a guy when he's eating his breakfast.
Waffle House is very different than a waffle shop.
Yeah, no, it was a Waffle Shop in Penn State, the original Waffle Shop, not Waffle House.
Oh,
Like
okay.
a Waffle
The
House in
Waffle
Georgia.
House is definitely a different vibe.
Yeah, that's a
Waffle
time doesn't
Shop is a Penn
exist
State
inside a Waffle.
staple.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
time doesn't exist inside a Waffle House. That's no man's land. That's like Walmart parking lots after midnight.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Spencer Lee will beat?
Yes,
Well, one, qualify the weight.
yes. I think he'll win a gold medal in Paris.
Honestly, I think he's got a good chance of doing it, especially with how dominant he was.
You think
I
he's
think
going to
that
win a gold medal in Paris?
I think he is.
I
I agree with you. I'm Spencer all the way.
I think Spencer is if he can keep getting healthy, because we've seen him.
Michik's the guy to beat.
Yeah, but no offense, like I just think that like I think if Spencer wrestles against him, he's gonna do well.
So
I
you think Spencer could not only beat the Japanese world champ who cut down for last year's Worlds, Aguev, the Russian Olympic champ who
Yes.
beat Gilman at the Olympics, that Michik beat both of them just to get to the finals?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
Don't you realize Spencer Lee created wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I saw someone say something about Spencer Lee. It was a great joke. I can't remember it now, but it was someone that was like a Fairweather fan or someone that wasn't really big into wrestling, and they asked a question about Spencer Lee, and it was something along the lines that Jack said, like, "Isn't this the guy that's like won all the world championships and is multiple time Olympic guy?" And it's like, "Oh well, not yet, but he can be." But yeah, no, I think I think I wouldn't. I'm feeling very confident that he'll get gold, and I would get just about guarantee he medals.
Yeah.
If he stays healthy, because we saw with Spencer, even his last year of college, he's like, no, I'm feeling great. I'm hitting my stride, and then he kind of fell off for nationals. And I don't know if that's a Spencer injury thing or a Hawkeye Wrestling Club where they just peaked a little early, or some external factor. But if Spencer is back to his A game, I don't think there's anyone in the world that could beat him.
I agree. Hey, let's ride it all the way to Paris, Spencer.
Yeah.
You look great. Look great. And drop your comments down below if you think Spencer Lee is going to qualify the weight, and how do you think he'll do at the Olympics once he qualifies.
I also love Jax Forrest took fourth, and I think he only had like 3 matches the entire tournament because so many guys injury defaulted out because they didn't make weight the second day, or like, oh, I'm not going to make the Olympic team, so why even bother? And he defaulted like 3 matches in a row.
He did, yeah, he did.
But I was super impressed with Jax 5-4 match with Gilman. And I know people are gonna rag on him because they're, oh, he's 17-year-old or 16-year-old sophomore, whatever he is. But my goodness, like, the kid is so good.
Yeah, it just goes to show the youth. Like, these
Yeah.
old guys are not getting, like, I feel like there's a peak and some of these guys are on the downward decline. I
Yeah.
mean, we saw so many guys retire this weekend, and it's just a matter of time. Like, you can't stay at that level forever. And especially at this weight, these young guys have so much energy and they're hungry. So
Before we leave 57, were either you guys surprised that Thomas Gilman did not retire?
No, I wasn't surprised by that.
I don't think so. It's tough. I mean, I feel like he's probably got a few more years left in I mean, it really depends on your career goals, but I do think
Yeah.
that he left Iowa because of Spencer. I do think that.
I still think it was the right move because in even interviews then, he's like, look, it's not me hating Spencer. It's just he's getting a lot more individual attention. That's fine. He's getting a lot more coaching. That's fine. I just have to go somewhere that's going to help me further develop my career. And Thomas Gilman spoke only positively about Hawkeye Wrestling Club this week. Shared about how he was super, excited and humbled to wrestle with Spencer Lee.
I don't know if that was like, and I'm not too well versed
Yeah.
in the history, but I feel I do think that in the past he's kind of ragged on Hawkeye Wrestling
Yeah.
Club. So
Well,
maybe
it was an ugly split. It was an ugly split at first. But I think that Thomas, just like a lot of guys, do grow and mature, and maybe didn't feel as slighted or as jaded, But he shared a hug with the Brands brothers.
yeah.
Again, just maturity. It comes with the sport and comes with age, and happy for Thomas. Happy for Spencer. It was tough because there's a lot of guys I wanted in this weight, and obviously they only can be one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should
So-
we you think we should slide over to 50 kilograms of women?
Oh
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about who's that? Sarah Hildebrandt.
Hildebrandt
Sarah-
on Audrey Jimenez, the high
Well-
school phenom from prom to Olympic
yeah.
trials finals.
Jimenez was on such a run, just dominating that bracket, and then she ran into literally a Hildebrandt shaped wall.
Yeah,
She teched her twice.
yeah, yeah.
I
No,
mean,
it
it's
was
just-
like on another level.
Yeah, Sarah Hildebrandt has always been great. I commented that I was surprised that like some people didn't come down to
Down to 50.
50. It is what it is. But yeah, Audrey Jimenez looked so good. And it's, again, just like Jack said, it's this youth is amazing. These guys and girls, they're just getting better and better and better. And Audrey Jimenez's time will come, but I think Sarah Hildebrandt's going to give it one more really good run for the Olympics, and then who knows what'll happen with Worlds next year.
I mean, once Hildebrandt's gone, I feel like Jimenez is going to be a front runner. She's not tall, so I don't see
she's
it going ever heavier than 50.
Yeah, she's
So-
pretty small.
And I mean, she beat Aaron Golston, who's kind of like the Don Bradley of the bracket. Like Aaron Golston's always in the mix.
Yeah.
Sage Mortimer, like that's a solid win there. Like, I mean,
Yeah, really solid.
And then Kendra Ryan, former
Former Pomperov.
Connecticut. Her brother was former Cactus, but
Hey, and shout out Mia Palumbo, who was my old high school principal's daughter.
actually, sorry. We later learned that that's actually not accurate.
No.
Yeah, Dad looked it up on the way back.
Uh,
He was like, "I made a fool of myself."
they're
Yeah,
not related at all.
They're not related at all.
We could push that narrative anyway. Push it.
That's funny. And he texted him too. And
Yeah, he
no wonder
texted us. He's
didn't
like,
get
"I made a fool of
response.
myself." It's like no wonder he didn't answer.
Wow. Okay, well, funny. All right, so let's jump up to men's 65 kilograms. Zane Train beats Nick Lee, nothing but Nittany Lion Love in the finals. But hey, this honestly could have been an Aliris Mendez finals. Those top four guys, like in it, we're not even talking about Yanni. Like those top four in the semis are all like within an inch of each other, I think.
Honestly, I think if Mendez had to go through Lee, he might have been in the best 2 out of 3.
Well, and he took down
Always disrespecting my boy.
He gave Zane a closer match than Lee did twice.
Yeah, Mendez
Zane-
got the first takedown, and then the only way that Zane scored was off of a poor Mendez shot, and then I think he got a passivity point, maybe, or I
He
forget
opened it up in the second match, though.
what against Nick Lee.
Yeah.
I just
No, that was Mendez against Zane, which was just one match.
Oh, you're talking about? I thought. Yeah.
I was talking about that one. Yeah. I how do you guys think Zane's gonna? Well, first, do you think Zane's gonna qualify the weight?
Yes.
I mean, he's a world champ a weight class above. I'd be pretty surprised if he couldn't take top 3 at a qualifier.
Do you
Yeah,
think he looked any like different at this lower weight? I feel like he wasn't necessarily getting to his offense enough. Everyone was saying like Zane was stalling in pretty much every match. He wasn't getting to it. I don't know if that had to do with like
Just willed himself to bleed so he could get those breaks.
Yeah, those blood breaks. Yeah.
That's true. I think the 65 kilo weight is very tough for Zane because he's kind of big for 70.
Yeah.
And I look at him and I'm like, where is there another, about 12 pounds to come off of him? And I think he's going to really struggle with that at the Olympics.
Oh, so he's going to James Green it.
No, I mean, I still think Zane has the ability to medal. It's just going to be tough. And however he rehydrates is going to be big. I think he'll qualify the weight. I don't necessarily see him winning, and it's not because of his wrestling ability. I think he's just going to be cutting too much and gassed, kind of like we saw Kyle Dake at 74 the first time in the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah. What do you guys think of these guys who get an automatic bid to the semis or the finals? Do you like that?
Kind of a dumb method, dude. Kind of a dumb method.
Yeah, I kind of. It doesn't seem right. Like, why do they need or why do they deserve such a large advantage?
That's it. It's like, hey, like you're the defending world champion. You should be able to beat these guys just like you would have to do in the actual world and Olympic tournaments. So like getting the chance to sit for that long almost guarantees that they have that they're going to make it. I mean, I saw a stat. It said like 5 out of 6 that got to sit to the semis ended up taking the spot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we'll get to the one that didn't.
Yeah. But I was super surprised with Yanni. I thought that.
I figured Mendez. All right. I said McKenna, but once McKenna lost to Mendez, Mendez took the path that I thought McKenna was going to take.
Well, not that he didn't like make it, but that he didn't continue to wrestle the next day. I guess I was surprised by that. Because
it was crazy that Caleb Larkin match. It was 13-8, but it was 8-8. Yanni was
in the final few
criteria
seconds,
with the last 12 seconds.
And I saw it, and this is why freestyle gets a bad rap. Because you're looking at it, you're like, well, how is that a 4-point move?
Yeah,
exactly.
There's so many things in freestyle that I'm like, I can see why people don't like watching it as much, and then some people love it. But yeah, I don't know.
Rules
if,
need to be simplified, but we've gone over this before.
Yeah.
How
Now,
about your boy Bo?
yeah, how about that, right? Super, super great.
Alirez with the commanding win.
Yeah, but that Alira's Nick Lee match was insane. 11-9. It really, you know what I
I
don't
love
like
Nick Lee,
about
dude.
freestyle is like guys concede the takedown way too easily because
Yeah.
you kind of have to, or else you're gonna get like leg laced or gut wrenched up. And I appreciate the scrambles that we see in folk style a lot more. And I just
Yeah.
don't like when a guy gets behind you, it's like, oh, okay, I kind of just have to flatten out.
What I also don't like about freestyle, and it's actually going to go right into the Bo Bartlett match, is there is no back points in freestyle. So like you could take a guy down and hold him on his back for, fighting for the pin for 40, 50 seconds and be like, cool, you get nothing additional for that.
Yep.
Some people said that Bo Bartlett won by pin. I may or may not be part of that group.
Against Alirez?
No, against McKenna
Oh,
in
well,
the
I did
Wrestleback.
not actually see that match, so
So
I
Jack's on my
don't
side.
have much. I don't have much to say.
Um, I I know that Vito didn't wrestle, but looking at the 57 weight and the 65 weight, I think that he probably wasn't going to get the spot either way. I
Who,
think that
Vito?
it's too much. Yeah, I think it's too much for him to make 57, like we've talked about. And looking at the size of some of these 65s, I just don't think he's there yet. And if he wants to grow into it, that's fine. I think he's a 61 guy for now.
we
Yeah.
saw him. We could have taken a picture with him.
That was nice. He was there.
Yeah, we were walking right next to him. He's short. Well, we're both kind of tall, so
Yeah,
he's
you guys are both
probably your
there.
height, Mike, maybe. I don't know.
5'4". I think he's taller than me.
Yeah, I don't know.
He didn't seem very tall.
Well, I don't seem very tall either, so.
Um, well,
Slide over.
we're gonna be rooting on Zane to qualify the spot, and
Zane Train.
then yeah, best of luck to Zane. So let's go back to the women here.
53.
53 kilos.
Dom Parrish.
Honestly, Haley Gallo had a hell of a run. The former Olympian from 2016 coming out of retirement and almost getting the spot back.
Yeah, I mean those Izzy
29,
style.
like
Izzy,
I applaud her.
great coach for Izzy style. Um, you know, he gets his girls and his guys ready. But yeah, Dom Parrish still just
I
she's
mean,
the girl.
they were two close matches, but it was like Agello was never going to win either one.
Well,
No,
and that was
well,
that was the whole thing. Like, I think every freestyle match ended in two.
yeah,
Yeah,
two straight.
yeah,
None of them went to three, which was
Mm-mm.
crazy.
and 5 out of the 6 Greco went to 3.
Yeah.
Moving on up, 74 kilos. All right, this one, this one we got. Okay, so where do we start with this one? I guess we kind of have to chime in on the whole Jordan Burroughs versus Penn State. So I took a poll on the Cactus Wrestling YouTube channel, and the results are in. So we
You gotta
have
lock these polls.
who's yeah, no, I know. Whose side are you on? We had 245 votes.
No.
58% are on Jordan Burroughs' side, 42% on Penn State side. We also got a bunch of comments saying originally I was on Penn State side, but then I switched over. So the long and short, I mean, this really kind of started what weeks ago at Nationals with a comment Jordan Burroughs said about Carter
yeah.
Strachey.
And they didn't even end up wrestling. That's the best part. Is Carter
That's
went
because
up.
Carter
The whole
went up a
thing-
weight.
The whole thing could have been avoided if Carter just was like, oh, I'm actually going 86. Like Jordan wouldn't have said anything about it because there wouldn't have been any storyline anyway. This is just craziness that it's kind of Carter's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bo.
So Burroughs made a comment saying, if I wrestle him, I'm going to attack that weak leg, which is something that probably everyone thinks about, but doesn't actually say out loud. So then Bo Nickel got involved and said, you don't disrespect like that. Carter said, I'm going to end your career to Burroughs. And then Burroughs.
Pat Downey came to Burroughs' defense.
Yeah, that was. We'll
Oh,
talk about Pat Downey at 86.
oh my God. Burroughs then proceeds to wrestle three Nittany Lion Wrestling Club members. Facundo, who he beats in a close match 5-3. And then this is where things got interesting. Burroughs versus Mitch Messenbrink. And
It
uh
was so fun, unintentionally a very hilarious match. Like looking back at it now, I watched the replay. Jack put it up earlier. What looking back at it now, it's very funny the antics.
yeah, I mean, drop your comments down below on your take of it. We're gonna keep this pretty baseline, but I kind of see it like Messenbrink was poking the bear, and then he finally got it was like enough is enough because there were so many times where Messenbrink is like,
The high five part was great. It was so
oh,
funny.
he does like almost like a club from space, like super hard. The ref stops it, like, whoa, 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 like that's too much. And then Messenbrink goes to like high five. I'm like, it's okay. It's like, oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
this is just for a spot in the Olympics. It's a high five, no worries.
Jordan doesn't high five him, so Mitchell just high fives his wrist.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was cracking up at that. I
So yeah,
like
just like
that.
looking back at it now, you're like, what is going on? Like, what kind of cartoon world is this?
So
Well,
yeah,
and then there was also I mean Jordan Burroughs is known for his socks as his like refresh, but it
Yep.
seemed so exaggerated.
yes, he was definitely using that as like an extra breather. I don't know if it was conditioning related or just like because the crowd was booing him, but
Ah,
it
I
was
like
it was yeah.
I liked when they, walking back to the center, and then Mitchell Messenger just like kind of 180 does like a jump spin, like to face Jordan, the ref, and the ref's like, "What are you doing?"
Everything was so extra with that. Like Burroughs goes back to the middle and Messenbrink in his starting spot, and he refuses to move, and Burroughs refuses to move. So then, yeah, Messenbrink pops 180, and then he dives in on the or no, the
The leg.
headbang. They were in a
Yeah,
stalemate. Messenbrink just clubs
just
his
bang,
head
bang, bang,
like
bang, bang, bang.
4 times in a row unnecessarily, and then the shove heard around the world.
Yeah.
Um, 10 seconds left in the match. He's losing the match like 8-1 or whatever.
I think it was
He
8-2 at that point.
8-2. He's
Yeah, the match is over. Like,
he's in on Burrow's ankle and they go out of bounds. The ref calls the whistle and he just doesn't get off of him. So Burroughs is like shoves him in the back of the head pretty hard. And it's what are you doing? And then they start chipping at each other and presumably Burroughs said like I'll like you quit like punching me in the head type of thing. I don't know word for word what he said, but then that proceeded to get Burroughs a bunch of boos, which carried over into the Nolf match where Bo Nickel was coaching Jason Nolf. Very like this, you can't make this stuff up. It's a soap opera. Um, Nolf beats Burroughs, and then
celebrates like he won the Olympics.
yeah,
Yeah, he
flexes
did.
on him like
He's like double arm pose to the crowd, and I'm like, because I watched it back and I'm like, oh man, I love like big Jason Doll fan. Kind of cringy, dude.
yeah.
Like, is this your, you didn't, you got Kyle Dake next, another NLWC guy that you've never beaten. Yes, it is cool to beat Jordan Burroughs, especially after you've never beaten him either. It's a huge step in the right direction for you, but like, it's basically just winning the semis of a tournament to make the
Yeah.
finals. Like, you're celebrating making the finals.
You
I mean,
know,
I've seen guys that I've coached celebrate like that. So
Yeah, well,
you know who also had a celebration like that, and I hate to hate on the guy, but Aaron Brooks had a very similar celebration over Zahid.
oh, that's true.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we'll get
anyway, Nolf beats Burrows, and then some drunk idiot says, "Oh, your career's over,"
Can
and
you
then
believe that guy?
yeah, I mean it's
Insane, dude.
like
Because I was surprised because Jordan Thick Skin has been doing this for a long time. Watching Jordan like come back 15 feet to be like, well, what have you ever done with your life to the guy? And
yeah,
I'm like, wow, he for Jordan to respond must have really gotten under his skin because he's a dude that's gone to enemy turf for I don't
Yeah.
know the last 12 years of my life. And
Mesenbrink
just
broke him.
yeah.
mm,
I said it earlier. I said if there was a third period, another 3 minutes of this, Messenbrink wins. He's just got too much of a gas tank.
do you guys think that there should be a host school for the Olympic trials,
No,
like
I
like
I
a
think that
college affiliated team.
no,
No.
Penn State, it was definitely, and we're gonna see this a lot from people that commented, and we've kind of been seeing it already. Is it kind of was a disaster? Like people are like, don't ever let Penn State host again. Don't let any school ever host again because of this exact reason. First, it brings people that only want to see the Penn State guys, and
Yep.
apparently after the Aaron Brooks and David Taylor match, half the crowd left, and it's like, dude, we still have 3 more Greco matches to go.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
dudes
There
booing.
was 5, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you had guys booing a living legend, the greatest USA. It's debatably the greatest USA wrestler of all time, and they're booing him, and a dude heckling him about his career being over. It's like, first off,
Yeah.
what? And
Penn
it's
State
just,
fans are something else, huh?
yeah, well, it sucks because like I am a Penn State fan, and I think that a lot of Penn State fans are really great dudes. But then you get a lot of guys, just like Iowa fans were pretty great. But then you get a few guys that are like, oh yeah, like I've been a fan since they started winning, and you just jump in and you bandwagon, and then you're
Yeah.
just a jerk. Like there's
Yeah.
there's gonna be jerks that it's the same
You
thing
know,
with basketball and football.
In the years to come, when Binghamton is the new Penn State,
Yep.
me and Jack were not bandwagon Binghamton.
There you go.
Touching interview about his father. That was tough.
Yep. And he handled Jason Nolf very impressive for Kyle Dake, who lost his father a week prior. I mean, like, that's some guts right there.
Yeah.
I was kind of rooting for Burroughs because I thought Burroughs could actually make it competitive. I didn't think Nolf was really competitive in those matches.
I knew, yeah, we all knew Nolf was going to lose 2 straight.
Yeah.
I mean, Burroughs probably would have lost 2 straight too, but
yeah, I think that if Burroughs made the finals and lost 2 straight, I think we might see him retire. I think that the thought definitely crossed Jordan's mind, but after his like treatment from Penn State earlier,
No,
I
you
didn't
can't
think
do it
he-
in that
Well,
environment.
that's exactly. I don't think he was like, oh yeah, like this is the group I want to retire in front of. Like,
Yeah.
super super like disrespectful to him. And
how about Jarrett Jocks?
yeah,
Nowhere. Never All Americans finishes 4th.
Mitchell Messenbrink, Tex Kennedy Monday.
Quincy.
Quincy.
Monday.
Quincy Monday. What?
And then
I'm
we
thinking of his
saw,
dad. I'm thinking of his dad. Yeah.
yeah. And then Alex Marinelli retired.
I
Bull.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. No offense to him. I think that a lot. This is gonna be rude. I think a lot of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club guys are not at the freestyle level that a lot of the other guys that are on the world teams are. And I never really thought of Alex Marinelli as a freestyle wrestler.
He was so tough against Anolf though. He kind of broke it. Like,
Yeah, no, I didn't say that he
nothing in the second period.
wasn't tough. I never you never really heard of Alex Marinelli competing overseas per se.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, it's just a little bit different. And so the retirement wasn't a huge surprise. I'm sure he's going to get into coaching soon if he's not already. Maybe even start
Marinelli, volunteer assistant at Iowa. Just you wait.
I could see him starting his own club. He's all accounts, he's a very good coach. He holds positions really well. He was a great high school wrestler, great college wrestler. Just
The
had some
clinic
trouble.
everyone wants to see, Cam Amin and Alex Marinelli. It's featuring Vincenzo Joseph.
That'll be a lot of throwing.
All right, moving on to women's 57.
Yo,
Helen, a dog.
she looked the best I've seen her in a long time.
She is one of 3 to make her 3rd straight Olympic team. 3.
First woman ever
First
to make
woman.
Yeah.
3 U.S. Olympic wrestling teams. So congrats to Helen Maroulis. Looked dominant. I would be very surprised if she didn't medal if she wrestled like that at
How
Paris.
about Jakara Winchester got surgery like 2-3 weeks ago and still managed to compete?
I was hoping she would go down to 53.
Oh, if she went down to 53, I think she might have actually given Parrish a run.
That's what I think too. Is like I know she was kind of debating, if she want to go up
I
or
think the
down.
surgery messed her up though. Like,
Yeah.
how you gonna cut weight when you can't do anything because you just had
Yep.
surgery?
Yep. So she played the hand she was dealt, and she still wrestled great. But I think this is going to be a Helen that definitely has a really good shot to medal and go pretty deep.
I mean, it's gonna come down to if she can beat Japan.
And she's done it before.
And she's also not done it before, so
Yeah, but
depends on where she runs into Japan in the bracket.
that's true. Those Japanese women are very, very tough in freestyle.
Yeah. But yeah, Maroulis was definitely on another level. She was moving so much better
She
than
did
she
look good.
was even a year ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was her, if she got snapped and her head hit the mat or she bumped heads, but there was a second there where I'm like, she has a concussion again and she's back to that like horrible time that she was going through with her, her concussions.
Right. Because yeah,
Um,
no, that really derailed her.
yeah. And like I said, there was a point where she hit her head and I'm watching live and I'm like, oh no, it just happened. And she seemed fine, no issues, but I was really like freaking out in my house. I'm like, oh my gosh,
If you guys haven't watched that documentary about her, it's definitely worth a watch.
she's awesome. She's super cool. She actually came to Newtown to do a clinic right after she won her gold medal in 2012. So she's awesome, super friendly. Think the world of her. Hope she gets it done for Team USA and for herself.
Helen Believe is the name of that documentary.
Check it out.
Yep.
All
She's
right.
we she's big for women's wrestling too. Love it.
86 kilos for the men. Um, man, there's a lot to go over here too between Aaron Brooks, the
Pat
whole
Downey,
Pat
Carter
Pat
Starachi,
Downey.
Carter
Mark
looked
Hall's
massive.
retirement.
There were some people saying like Carter looks tiny. He's not going to do good at 97 next year because he had hinted to that in an interview. I thought he looked bigger than Hidley in that match.
I mean, the fact that Downey was beating him with 2 minutes to go, like pretty controlled up until he gassed. I don't think going 97 is a good idea.
We'll see.
I just
mean,
don't think there's competition that is on his level to. I mean, maybe Isaac Trumbull.
I was about to say, I think if Trumbull goes back down, or
Trumbull's
goes,
definitely going to go back down. It's only 212.
yeah. Uh, I, I I think Carter has a torn ACL. Um, I don't think he'll admit it. I don't think it matters, but I think that is the injury, and just like we saw with Spencer, it can be pretty debilitating. Um, I think if Carter has two legs, he wrestles great and doesn't go on a run, but I think he beats Downey pretty convincingly then, and maybe even beats.
I mean, we got to
Heidi
go off of
because
what he did do, which was
no, I know. I'm just saying but he beat Downey, and
he did
that's
beat
great.
Downey, and Downey said because he had no gas.
Downey had some funny tweets and some really, really not so funny tweets following that, and
Yes,
Yes,
I
he
won't
did.
say the not
terrible.
so. Yeah, I won't say the terrible ones, but man, this dude is really trying to dig his own grave again. But he tweeted like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do wrestlebacks. I'm still throwing up after my match with Carter,"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
which I thought was pretty funny. And I'm like, "Oh, look at that! He's having interviews with Flo, and he's talking with kids, and he's putting out funny tweets, and like, oh, what a great return." And then he immediately goes back to, "Oh, you want to see me be like the worst version of myself again? Check it out." And then all weekend was just crapping on other individuals and
Yeah.
saying things that are way, way out of pocket.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Pretty nasty
You can
stuff.
Google his tweets if you want, but like the fact that this dude is,
Be forewarned.
yeah, there's some pretty inappropriate stuff out there.
So we'll talk about Aaron Brooks versus Zahid. The singlet pull.
Heard around the world.
I mean,
honestly, my biggest complaint with that whole thing is that was the determinant of the match. And even with watching the replay in slow motion, it's still like not like abundantly. Even I've watched it a ton of times, and I still am not like, oh yeah, that's 100%. It got pulled. Like I don't see it moving. That's me, but like,
Do you Do you think this is the other problem with having it hosted Penn State is that they got favorable calls like this, which
Well, that ref,
ultimately
the ref for
determined
that match was legitimately joking around with Penn State wrestlers throughout the tournament.
that's what I mean. Do you feel like
And
there's
he gave a favorable takedown that was ended up being reversed in the match, and he put Zahid on passivity after Zahid took like 4 shots in a row, which I'm not an expert on passivity, but we looked it up.
We
We're
looked
like,
up the rule on passivity. According to the rules of passivity, there's no way that him going from being in on a shot to now they're back to neutral should have ended up in Zahid is now on the clock.
so Aaron Brooks definitely stormed back and scored, those points in the last 20 seconds. But one, Zahid was on passivity for one of them. One of them was the push out point, and then the other one was the singlet pull.
singlet grab.
So two of
I
those
would
were
have liked to
very
have seen
questionable. The
Brooks
push out,
losing with sick. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, Zahid shouldn't have given up the push out, and there's no guarantee that 6 seconds left, Aaron Brooks doesn't find a way to get another push out and win anyway.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I would have liked to have seen 6 seconds to go, Brooks losing to see if he could have scored in that 6 seconds. Because with 17 seconds to go, he got the push out in 6 seconds. So I think Brooks with 6 seconds to go probably could have still beat Zahid, but the ref basically just decided the match for them both, which I didn't really sit well with me.
The big thing that we talked about off camera is why didn't Zahid let the challenge stand? Like, why kick the brick back? You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, like
even if
I'm going to score in 6 seconds, Zahid. No, you're not. You don't have anything left.
And even if Zahid didn't think or did think that he pulled the singlet, because I saw some people say, Zahid was, kicking the brick back because he honestly knew that he pulled the singlet and he, didn't want to concede the point. Dude, take the breather. It is a free break.
Like, I mean, yeah, okay, now you're down by 2, but still.
Yeah, but that's a strategy the guys have taken, is take the extra breather, and now all you need is a takedown to get to win on criteria.
And this is where I think the format could kind of be tweaked, because this is a semifinal match, and Zahid was given this spot in the semis. This was the match before getting to David Taylor. And like, I would have loved to see Aaron Brooks versus Zahid 2 out of the 3. So
honestly, I would have rather seen that after watching David Taylor.
Well, yeah. No one could have predicted that. Like David Taylor.
Well, that's why David Taylor should have been in the challenge tournament.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't have got to the finals.
Yeah, I don't know if it should be like
Zahid
a
or Brooks would have beat him, and then it would have been Zahid and Brooks in the 2 out of 3.
That would have could have been interesting. Do you think though? Oh, you go first, John.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think Zahid beats David Taylor? And I don't think so.
I do. After watching what David Taylor put out Saturday compared to what Zahid did, definitely I would put Zahid.
David Taylor looked nervous. Like him walking
something didn't look right.
Yeah. And he was very passive in the first match.
Even in the second match, David's like, he's pacing back and forth. Mat. Aaron's literally laughing on the mat right as they're about to shake hands. And he's like laughing, joking, smiling. Super like almost reversals of what you'd expect for their roles to be.
Yeah.
I was super surprised with David Taylor, who by all accounts in his YouTube channel and podcast was saying how good the weight cut was going and how the weight's coming off easier than it's ever felt. And vice on the opposite side, Aaron Brooks was cutting weight until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning right before. Then he had to get up at 6 a.m. for weigh-ins the next day and then wrestle. Like the recipe for success was not there for Aaron like it was for David.
But hey, David Taylor had that back trip that didn't work.
Yeah, Nelson.
I mean, as much as we can talk about it, I think you got to give props to Aaron Brooks. Listen, he didn't do anything wrong in the singlet pull match. Like, you can't really blame the guy. It was really kind of
thing wrong. I think he did was celebrate like that.
Well, yeah,
it's exciting.
He celebrated like he just won the Olympics against Zahid off of a singlet pull.
Yeah, like come on, like guy, you won off of the other guy doing something like, or the ref, if you want to say the ref did it, like
Yeah, and especially like when he beat David Taylor, like he didn't celebrate like that. He was like in
That
arms.
was very yeah. That was the kind of return to form Aaron that we've always seen. Like Aaron wasn't a big celebrator guy. He's always been like, very humble and winning and losing. So the Zahid thing again, a little surprising, but unless similar to Nolf, he didn't expect to beat David because I don't think Nolf expected to beat Kyle, and that's kind of why he was celebrating. He's like, "This is my Super Bowl."
I
But
guess so. I mean, I
two straight, that was crazy. I
Even
never
if
would
he
have
didn't
expected that.
expect to beat David, why wouldn't he celebrate after beating David?
I think that their relationship is a little different than him and Zahid's, shall we
yeah.
say? Being club mates and being someone that Aaron has talked about his ankle pick he learned from watching Kale and watching David, and the honor to get to train with him and be partners. And I feel like it's kind of a full circle thing, which is what that picture kind of showed of them
Yeah, it was
before
like
beforehand.
when who was it? Snyder took the spot from
Against
Varner.
Varner. Yeah.
Hey, it's changing the guard. We see it every year. And do you guys think Brooks can take goal? I think
I think he can.
I think he can.
I don't know. I think Yazdani celebrated when he saw the
I
results.
I think that David Taylor is going to say, "Look, it's not what I wanted, but I am still in the same club with you. I'm still, we're on the same team of Team USA and Team NLWC. If anyone knows how to beat, Yazdani, it's me, David Taylor.
But
I
that's
am
how
going to
David
show
Taylor
you."
wrestles. That stylistically,
But David has time to work with him. I mean, I'm sure that the Penn State room is getting Aaron Brooks ready. He
Plus,
does the same
yeah.
underhook series that so many guys do in the Iranians.
Well, and Aaron Brooks said that he had to back off of his underhook against David Taylor. So he can
Mhm.
adjust to his
Yeah.
opponents pretty well, I think.
I mean, he just beat the number one pound for pound guy in the world 2 straight matches, and frankly, neither of them were close.
Which is
yeah,
crazy because
sure.
everyone in that tournament took down Aaron Brooks except for David Taylor.
Yeah.
It was like Carter Starachi's NCAA run. The
Yeah.
national champs couldn't take him down. The
Just
national runner-up couldn't take him down, but the first two guys could.
last thing I want to say about this, what did you guys think about Mark Hall's retirement?
We missed it. We heard
Yeah.
everyone applauding, and I thought it was because Mitch Messenbrink was coming out for his first match after Jordan Burroughs, but apparently Mark Hall was just on the sideline taking off his shoes, and we had no idea. And then someone told us, and we were like, "Oh, okay." Um,
Yeah, I I'm surprised he retired, but again, I guess I'm kind of not. I
He's
think
never
Mark
really
Hall,
been in the mix to get
well,
the spot.
that's exactly it. He seems to be very much into his coaching portion of his career now at Penn. I wonder if he has any regrets about leaving Penn State, honestly. But I know it's going back a little bit. Were you guys surprised Jordan Burroughs didn't weigh in the second day?
Eh,
not really. He seems like an
he's
all or
kind of
nothing
that
type of
guy
guy.
that would be.
Yeah, I
It's
think he's
all or
going
nothing.
79. 79 next season, going for one more world run.
Um, Let us know down below your thoughts about all this good stuff as we transition over to women's 62 kilos.
This weight was arguably on paper one of the deepest. They had
Deep.
3 returning world medalists: Macy Kilty, Jen Page, and
Kayla
Kayla Miracle.
Miracle.
Like, that's deep. And Mallory Velty, who was world team bronze the year before, was also in the bracket. You had Noah Kukwu, who's a national champ,
Yeah,
who was in
national
the
team.
world team trials, I think finals last year. Like,
Mhm.
a lot of depth at this weight.
I mean, even the matches were relatively close. I mean, Macy Kilty wins 9-8 over Jen Page in the challenge tournament finals. Super
Yeah,
close
that
match.
one was wild. That match was wild to watch.
I was pulling for Jen Page, but I love Macy Kilty too. Another great wrestler. And then Kayla Miracle again, just doing what she's got to do, get it done.
Well, even Page over Velty was 8-7.
Yeah.
And honestly, Kilty on Miracle was one of the most exciting 2 out of 3 matches.
Yeah.
It was the closest. Every other one was pretty like all in favor of this guy, this one person, most of the match. That one was like, this could go either way. Then the second one, I mean, Miracle kind of just took it.
Miracle
Yeah,
looked good.
she-
Miracle looked good.
Yeah, honestly, it's the best I've seen Miracle look. Just like it's the best I've seen Maroulis look.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, just being good at the right time.
Sunkissed is finally peaking him.
Well, not for the men's side, but
Well, yeah.
not for the men's Greco.
Well, you know, I mean, if Zahid didn't get screwed,
Yeah, that's true. If
I guess we'd
Zahid
have
had
to-
won and then beat out David Taylor, then we'd be saying Sunkissed is giving the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club a run for its money.
Yeah, 1 versus 17, guys. Do we see Zahid go to Team Mexico?
yeah.
Well, first off, is it too late? And I'm not sure if it is or
I
not.
don't know what the rules are, but he should
Yeah.
definitely consider it. If he's
That'd be
allowed
pretty-
to, why not? Everyone else is doing it.
If
Zahid
he's allowed
versus-
to, he should, but
Yeah. Zahid versus Aaron Brooks, Olympic finals, Team Mexico versus Team USA.
I mean, it's tough. Like, I want to root for Team USA, but it's like if USA guys are representing other countries, I'm going to root for those guys because they are US guys. But
Mhm.
I'll always favor Team USA over anyone.
It just sucks. I mean, we talked about this in another video. I think that you should be able to enter as many wrestlers from your country as
Yeah.
qualified. If
well, the Olympics is only ever like a 16-man bracket.
No, I know, but my point is like you have Americans racing Americans in competing against each other in track and field, swimming.
Oh, I agree with you. Yeah.
A lot of like quote unquote individual sports, and wrestling's the same way. As much as it's an individual sport, you contribute toward a team goal.
Yeah.
But
That's why I think the bracket should be bigger. Like have it be a
Yeah.
32, 64 man. Like
64-man
Why not?
Olympics would be viewership would be tough. People would be like, I'm not watching until the finals.
Yeah.
But I think that it'd be more exciting to have, Zahid, David Taylor, and Aaron Brooks in the same Olympic bracket. That would be
well, we
insane.
still might see Zahid and Brooks.
Yeah, but my point is like you would be insane. Like imagine if Aaron knocks off David Taylor then at the Olympics. Like that's even crazier.
Oh, that's true.
It is.
So I think that if I was in charge of the world, I would
Even
make
if you had
that.
Hidley.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you could have so many great guys in this bracket, and the stakes are just raised up even higher. And not to belittle some of the other guys that are going to wrestle at Worlds and the Olympics, but it's not often that our number 2 guy, in this case David Taylor, is better than your number 1.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of depth in America, just like Iran has for wrestling, Russia has for wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it would also be interesting to keep guys like Stefan Michek, Gomez, RBY, the Valencia brothers, all these guys, keeping them in Team USA and say, I could take third at the Olympic trials and still compete at the Olympics. With the funding that I would get more so for Team USA, with more, I'm already training with my club team at Michigan or at Penn State like RBY does. I'm being coached by the same guys but why go through all the hoops if my country just allowed me to send multiple reps?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll die on that hill.
Let us know what you think down below. Let's jump up to 97 kilos. Hey, let's show our respects to Jaden Cox, who had a very heartfelt goodbye. Great speech, great wrestler, great person all around. Done
Heck of a
tremendous
career.
things for the support. And
I mean,
yeah.
He had a rough tournament though.
He did.
Well, yeah.
He barely got by Christian Carroll. And then
well, when you're retiring
beat him
like
in fight
that, I
one.
mean, to harp on his current.
Well, and then
Sure.
Trumbull had a freaking hell of a tournament. I couldn't believe he could tech Colin Moore.
It's so crazy to me because Jaden looks, I always think he's much older than he actually is. He recently turned 29.
Yeah.
Like him and Kyle Snyder are very, very, very close in age. He's younger than Burroughs. He's younger than Dake. He's younger than Taylor.
Yeah.
It's just surprising because he had so
Shaved
much.
head.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is part of it. He had so much success early in his career. Multiple time world medalist. And then the injury, the COVID year, missing weight with Kyle Snyder, like it just kind of pushed him off from 97 kilos. Like it never really materialized.
But how about Kyle Snyder though? 10 straight world/Olympic teams for Team USA. What do they call him? The Captain America, I think, right?
He's always been Captain America. That's my boy.
Captain America. And if he medals at Paris, he would be 10 straight for medal. Like this is
Mr.
Mr.
Consistency.
Consistent. Yeah. I mean, I feel confident that hey, maybe he doesn't get it done because that phenom from where was he from? The tall
the
guy
club,
with the beard.
yeah, the club he wrestles for is Sajalayev's club.
Yeah. That guy's gonna be
Goliath isn't gonna be in the Olympics.
Well, that's as of right now, he's not. As of the time of we're filming this, they said the same thing about Russian athletes for the past few years about they're not competing, and then hey, sure enough, they got in, or some years they didn't get in. But I think that there's a very good shot we see him. As of right now, though, we won't. And to answer Jack's question, I want to say he's from like Georgia or something, but I don't think that's accurate.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to pull it up.
Hey, Kyle Snyder, he's gonna medal. He's done it 10 years in a row. Huge props and shout outs. He's gonna be that anchor for Team USA, which
also
is a young team by all accounts.
I want to give Trumbull props though. There was so many times in that best 2 out of 3 that I was like, Snyder's about to score 2 to 4 points right here, and then Trumbull would turn it into a push out, and I'd be like, how did he even pull that off?
Yeah, very, very heavy hips. And
like it was unbelievable that Trumbull didn't give up more points.
Yep.
He's
in
from
the positions
Milan.
he was in, like he should have given up more points.
Best of luck to Kyle Snyder, and congrats on a great career, Jaden Cox. Moving to women's 68, Forrest Molinari loses
Pretty dominant.
Loses to Amit, right?
Amit, yeah.
Amit Allure. Close matches though.
I looked this up. I think it was the closest win she's had in her career.
Yeah, I was expecting Tex, but no.
I was too. I just similarly to how we talked about Zane not being adjusted to the weight, I think Amit is the same way. It's 4 kilos versus 5, so it's about 9 pounds versus 12. But I think especially for the women's weights, that's a lot harder.
Yeah.
And I think she'll adjust to it, but part of it is Amit is so young, she's still growing. It's not like she's like 31-year-old, Kyle Dake or David Taylor. It's like, yep, my body is not.
Adeline
I'm done.
Gray.
Yep. Yeah. And I think Amit, her body's kind of fighting her, and it says, I want to go up. I want to go up.
Kennedy Blaze doesn't want to hear that.
No, nobody wants Amit Allure to go up to 76, except maybe Amit Allure when she wants to. But I was super surprised because I thought this was going to be like not a good match. I thought, Amit's going to just.
Yeah, I thought she was going to blow through her.
And I'm sure she's disappointed in her performance. She's a tough critic on herself. She, pushed herself to do better. I still think she's going to win the Olympics. I think that her resume speaks for itself. She's a 2-time back-to-back world champ, senior level world champ, in addition to, her junior and U23 world championships as well. I think she's just so seasoned. And once she gets the weight a little bit more situated, she's got a few months to get it done. I think she'll be fine.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, I mean, Forrest is also a very good wrestler too, as we know. She's not like a slouch.
She's a world team member.
Well, that's what I mean. She's no pushover. So Amit having close matches with her, even though they weren't great.
She's world bronze one year.
Mm-hmm.
Last 2 weights here to wrap up. Men's 125 kilos. Hey, shout out to Hayden Zilmer for making the finals. I was pulling for him.
I didn't pick him.
No, you didn't.
I had Gwiz.
Well, Gwiz took 3rd, I guess.
The wizard.
But hey, Mason Paris looked really, really good. I feel really strong about him. He has a good chance at medaling, I think, in Paris.
I mean,
Paris for Paris.
Yeah, Paris in Paris. He medaled at the World last year, so that was his first showing. So now that he's got that out of the way, I think he can improve upon it.
I'm still mad at Gable Steveson. Just
That's funny.
jerk. I'm so I don't know if anybody that watches this or listens to us now that we're on, Spotify and whatnot, follows the WWE, but Gable is not having the career he might have thought he would have had. And he hasn't even had a televised match yet. And he's been in the WWE for, a good chunk of time now. And I in my heart of hearts believe after he wins the Olympics in 2020, 2021, he would have won Worlds that year, Worlds next year, and Worlds the year after, and would be going for his second straight Olympic gold medal. I think he had such a stranglehold on just that 1 year that he wrestled for Olympics.
You think he would have beat Petroshvili?
Yeah.
The guy that he
think-
beat not following freestyle rules?
Yeah,
I
Gable's
think
an animal.
yeah. I think he would have got, 3 more years of training in, exclusive freestyle and continue to get better. Yeah, I think he would have crushed him. And not that Mason Paris isn't going to do well. I'm sure he's going to do great. It's just crazy that Mason could dominate the domestic 125 kilo guys, and then if he wanted to, Gable would tech him.
Well,
So
it's like, I mean, it's like any guy who is on the top of their game retiring young, like Lee Kemp, we were just talking about earlier. Like, that there's a guy out there who's probably could beat you, but what are you gonna do? I don't know.
How about Don Bradley still bringing it, dude? The gatekeeper,
Hey,
the
and the
ultimate
dude didn't
gatekeeper.
retire either. Like,
No,
That
He's-
dude's never retiring.
well,
He'll be 50 still at the trials.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
hey, we
And,
saw a 45-year-old Greco guy.
Yeah. How
He
about
was
Wyatt?
he was the best 2 out of 3 kicking out.
Wyatt it just got granted an additional year for college, so we'll see him
Possibly in the Big
potentially
12.
in the Big 12.
Probably at Michigan because they get all the transfers.
I don't know.
Maybe.
All I'm saying is, after Wyatt got texted by Greg, he's not asking for the smoke more times a year.
You don't think so?
Well, it doesn't matter because AJ Ferrari is going to win that weight class next
That's
year.
true. AJ Ferrari and Carter Starachi, the 197 match we didn't know we needed.
No, they're both going to go heavyweights for giggles.
For giggles.
All right, so let's wrap this up with the last weight class, women's 76 kilos. And this one, we saw another changing of the guards. Kennedy Blades finally takes out Adeline Gray.
And she had to go through the challenge tournament, and that was not an easy tournament. Skylar Grote was her first win, who has been, I think, a world team member before. Diamond Guilford was a world team member 2 years ago. Yelena Makied, I think, is a national champ, national runner-up. Like, she's been really good.
Yeah.
Beat Kylie Welker. Welker was as a high schooler, was in the Olympic trial finals with Adeline, the last Olympic cycle. Like, Kennedy had to do a lot of work just to get to Adeline.
She sure did. But I mean, she was chomping at the bit. Final X, I remember, she kind of blew both matches against Adeline. Adeline found a way. Was kind of surprised Adeline didn't take off her shoes and retire. I know she's a recent mom and getting up
Got
there
the
in
twins.
age.
Nah, she's good. She'll be back next year.
She taught. I mean, and she said that in her interview. She's like, "Look, I'm not really sure what next year holds for me. I'm going to try to come back and make the world team again." Because I also thought she was going to retire, and then when she's holding her twins in the interview, and I'm like, oh, this feels like a retirement interview.
Yeah.
She's not ready.
Kennedy Blades, I believe, was the only one to go through the challenge tournament and win and not have the all the others that sat out.
Brooks.
Yes, that's true. Hearn Brooks.
Well, actually, no, Spencer Lee.
Yeah, but there was no one really sitting out at
There's no
57
one sitting
kilo.
in weight. That's true.
Yeah. So congrats to Team USA. I will say that afterwards at the award ceremony, they kind of presented everyone. The women's team were all like hugging each other, friendly, chatting it up. And the men's team, it was almost like everyone was kind of awkwardly standing next to each other. And
Well, and the coach was talking to him intensely for like a half hour.
yeah, like serious like game plan
We gotta
type
get it
stuff. I'm like,
together. Yeah.
dude,
The Olympics is
it's like midnight. Like, what are you saying right now?
the Olympics is only 3 months away. Get it together, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Also, I couldn't have been more happy for Adam Kuhn.
Yeah, yeah, he finally finds a way, gets it done. One of the loudest celebrations, um, a roar,
Yeah.
from the mountain of a man.
Clearly, if you want to be a senior level athlete, wrestling heavyweight, go to Michigan.
Yeah, I mean they
Yeah,
definitely have
yeah.
a pretty dang good group. I mean they got two Olympic team members.
And shout out to Joe Rao, who finally makes his Olympic team. Fun fact about him: I read that he does improv comedy, so
I'd love to see that.
I would love to see that.
I
So
was
This
I
does
was
improv?
I was pretty happy for Ellis Coleman too. I mean, wrestling historians who might have remembered or have probably practiced it in their own wrestling gyms, the flying squirrel, something that he created. Happy to see him come out of retirement and then win the spot.
yeah,
Disappointed I didn't get to see a flying squirrel, but hey, it's been a few
yeah,
years, a little bit older now.
I'm saving that for the Olympics.
Yeah.
yeah. So let us know your thoughts down below. It was a honestly like this gave NCAA wrestling tournament like I thought this had as much drama as like the NCAA wrestling tournament in different ways.
Yeah.
Probably not for the ways that you would want, but it was a lot of drama. I think personally like they definitely dragged out the event longer than it needed to be. Especially the finals. It was like we were there for so long. It felt like we aged. I don't know about you, Mike. Like I felt like I aged so much, and we were literally there just for one day. It was a long day. And we were
Yeah,
just
I mean, we got there at
Saturday.
like 9:30 and we left at like 11:15 at night.
I know.
Well, I mean, there was that break, so we did leave for that break, but still.
Yeah. But really cool event. Nonetheless, drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts about everything that we just talked about. And let's go USA. Team USA, good luck. And
Big year. Let's go, boys and
let's
girls.
go. And make sure you hit that like, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, whatever you need to do to see more videos from Cactus Wrestling. Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.